Now, when we talk about entertainment and posing, there's one person that comes to mind, and that's Melvin Anthony.
Anthony. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
He posts every pose in the book and mix it with entertainment. So he can call himself the best poser in the world in my eyes.
So will
So
Hadi be able to make it?
I hope so, man.
I I don't know. That's another thing. We don't know if
Doesn't
he's
he
gonna
have
make
a 10-year visa? Jose, you had a hip injuries before, right?
Yeah, I had a hip replacement.
Yes, but okay, so I do want to find out because I always probably underappreciated or respected. I didn't take them seriously. Yeah, hip, like back, like knee, like whatever, shoulder. It would be the same category. Last 4 weeks are the worst 4 weeks of my life. Pain 24/7. Can't find a position. Can't lay down. Standing is bad. Laying is much worse, and then sitting was a little bit better. Okay. I had to do a couple of trainings, so I go there and 2 hours on the feet is just killing me. I can't put the leg in the car. So finally, yesterday, I got the two cortisone shots. I don't know if you got the cortisone
Yeah,
in my groin and my hip joint
yeah.
tremendously released. Okay, so I'm like loving it kind of. It's not completely gone. But did you do those shots before and then you had a hip replacement?
I did. So I went to the doctor in February of 2018, and the doctor's like, "You need a hip replacement, 100%." And I'm like, "Well, I already committed to doing all these shows." And he's like, "Well, do the best you can and come back." So like less than 2 months after my last show of 2018, I had the hip replaced. It was so painful. I wish I had done it sooner, but I would advise you to get it done as soon as possible because the pain is gone immediately and you'll be on your feet right away. It's not like a knee or a shoulder. They want you to use it immediately.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
The only
same day you
pain
be
you'll
walking,
have,
right?
yeah, the only pain you'll have is the incision, and that goes away within like 10 days, and you're brand new. I was deadlifting 500 pounds within 5 months.
I didn't deadlift 500 pounds for like 30 years.
Eh. Milos, you have to wait how long you said?
October, you know. So because it will be September, but that's a couple of weeks. I'm still hoping that Becruz would make it to the States. I could train him here for the Olympia, and Olympia mid-October, 9th to 13th.
10th, 10th, yeah.
Yeah.
10th,
So
11th.
I'm hoping for that one. But so did you got those cortisone shots into the?
Yep, right into the hip joint. It
Okay.
didn't do a lot for me. It was enough that I could train, but I still couldn't do certain movements. I couldn't do bent over rows. I couldn't do stiff leg deadlifts. Any hinging at the hip, I couldn't do.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was it was brutal.
all
And
right.
it's the best surgery ever because the hip bone, is so big that that joint, it's so strong. You're back to normal right away. So
Did
I
you
would
have just
not.
one or both sides replaced?
I need to get the other one done still. I haven't done it. I just did one.
Oh. So the other one is not, you're not in pain?
It's not as bad as the other one because I'm not training for the Olympia,
Right, right, right,
So
right,
I
right.
can get by, but I'll need it done in the next year or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh. So are you limping?
a little bit, but
Hmm.
my left knee needs to be done too. So I'm debating which one to do first.
You can't do it at the same time?
No, because you can't walk on a knee replacement right away.
Oh,
Where a hip you can. So
yeah.
so
You got issues with your knees too, Milos, right?
Big time, big time. And
yeah.
before I was just left, but now for these 3 weeks, how I'm compensating,
Yep.
my right knee starts screaming. It's like, oh man.
Funny
And
you mentioned
like the
knees because
61.
2 days ago I'm walking up the stairs and I feel a pain. I never had knee pain, right? But it's not in the knee joint, it's right on top of the patella.
It's pathetic.
Feel
Yeah.
like a little a sharp pain, right? But only when I walk upstairs,
Yeah.
right on top. Oh yeah, I can't even show you because of the
That's
damn.
just patella tendonitis.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes away.
Yeah, because now I realized that the last couple of weeks, month maybe, every time I walk upstairs, that knee would pop a little bit, but no pain, no nothing. You can just
Yeah.
feel the pop.
But
And now this is like 4 days, I could feel it. It's not terrible, but it feel like, ow, what the hell? And I figured knee pain has to be under the patella somewhere in the joint, and
I
it's
think
literally on top.
uh, Jose, I went to Dennis to Thailand 2001, 2002, and probably 2003, right? But that time, I started training with Dennis. We did our supplements over there because you have everything, right? So I was getting jacked. I came back to States and was doing a super slow, very heavy hack squats. And first set, second set. So just like he touched it, right? Here. Oh, you feel that sensation like, okay, but I thought it was medialis pump. I'm just like pumped like a motherfucker,
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But I usually don't get that at all. And I put the 10 plates on each side. There was a flex. You remember flex hack squat? You could go pretty heavy on that one. Some hack squats, you put three, four plates and it's heavy, but this, and one, second, third, fourth rep, it just exploded and it rolled up.
Oh,
Oh, completely exploded. I went down, zero pain, absolutely zero pain. Zero pain then, zero pain hours later, zero pain when they took me to the hospital. I could not, all four would detached. Patella tendon exploded. And,
oh,
yeah, but zero pain.
that's
Eh,
because it was a complete rupture. So
complete.
the nerve was completely severed immediately.
Yeah, one of those things like, wow.
You had it
But
reattached.
you had pain after the surgery, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after surgery, because he had to like shorten it big time. So my I have a 1.2 centimeters shorter leg genetically. My grandfather, my dad, I had it, and then they shortened even more. So you can imagine how you compensate even more. I always try to, you know, play it off, but my right leg is way shorter. Fuck.
How did it look? Did it ever look normal again?
I competed again like 2003. You could see like part was missing. Yeah, the lateralis part, the lower portion is gone. I don't know where to go. Yeah, it
Wow.
didn't look good. Kind of, I think Victor Martinez also, right? He had like chunk missing. Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
His leg.
Yeah, I mean later, not when he was winning. Yeah.
Yeah, but that probably happens when you get older. Certain body parts tend
Yeah.
to atrophy a little bit here and there, and create holes. You seen what happened with Ramy, where everybody suspected, oh, he's shooting his legs,
Yeah.
and then he comes back to the Arnold, the legs are full, and you don't see it no more.
You know what is weird? There was a couple of guys 3 months ago on the Instagram. Crazy legs. Upper body was not that good. Crazy
Yeah,
leg and had the same indentation like
yeah,
you seen
yeah.
it?
I've seen it on a few guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It
seen it on
looks
a
like
few.
a port where they're putting it in.
Yeah, and it's mostly on guys with big legs.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Talking about Ramy, did you guys see the post where everybody's saying that Ramy is making a comeback?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that.
Who buys it?
I
I
do.
don't know.
But
You buy it?
I'm naive anyway, so
Mhm.
why would he say if he doesn't mean it, right?
But
Well,
did
what
he
did he
say
say?
it or
What did he say? He
someone
said, "I'll
else
be
said it?
back." What does that mean?
I heard he's
What does that, Reels, what does that mean? I'll be back. Where? You be back?
But hold on, okay.
Competing? You'll be back to visit? You'll be back to what? For what?
Pete, we know that language when Mr. Olympia tells you and he's qualified. I thought it was for life, but I guess they changed it for like certain amount of years. Like if you're
Who?
Mr. Olympia,
When was it changed?
yeah, we have to search this. I think it's 5 years now or something. Before
Ah,
it
that's
was,
new. That's new news to me.
yeah,
yeah, I never heard that.
yeah, I just
I
heard it
thought you
recently.
qualified for life.
That's how it was before, but that means Samir Banu can think that he's good enough, right?
He could, yes.
and make it back. So for that reason, I think there is a limited. You probably
I don't
don't
know.
even know
I
that.
don't know.
You
I would have to
remember?
look that up, but
Yeah.
I think this it still stands that Miss Olympia is qualified for life.
Back in
I
our
heard he wants to
time,
do the Arnold.
Huh?
Someone said he wants to do the Arnold
yeah.
because he's never
Yeah, but
won the Arnold.
Who? Ramy?
Yeah.
Ramy looked great at the 2023. I don't know if you ask me.
Yeah, he sure did. He looked much improved from the Olympia, but yeah, yeah, I guess Steve didn't see it that way. Steve thought he was the same as at the Olympia, so
Is
Uh,
he 40 now?
he's going to be
okay.
41 next month in September.
Wow.
You know,
So
Sean
he said,
Pineda beat him on some judges' score sheets at that show.
unless he calls me and tells me he's competing, I don't buy it for 1 second.
Yeah.
And if somebody asks me, "Do you believe Ramy's coming back?" I said, "No, I don't think so."
Yeah.
That's just my honest opinion. Unless he calls me and tells me that he's competing, I would not buy it.
But
Yeah.
and
And then on a side note, you saw Trump just put Egypt on the list too, right? So yeah, it's a built-in excuse already.
uh,
Wow.
uh, uh, when
I
did
just saw
he
the last list
retire?
that all the African countries that he banned from entering the United States.
Uh,
Egypt is on the list too now.
So will
So
Hadi be able to make it?
I hope so, man.
I I don't know. That's another thing. We don't know if
Doesn't
he's
he
going
have
to.
a 10-year visa?
I don't know.
I think so. That's what it was saying.
I mean, Hani would know.
Yeah.
But
I
if
think,
he had a 10-year visa, why does he have to go through that shit every year?
I mean, the only thing that he had a problem is getting a UK visa, which is different than US.
No, you remember how many years? One time he came to the Olympia like 2 days
Oh yeah,
before.
Yeah.
that was
Then the next year he had
funny.
wasn't sure, so he always planned it earlier and was here at early, like 6, 8 weeks out, and
Yeah.
stayed with Hani. They had to go through the same shit every year.
Jose, which year did you retire? How old were you?
41.
41. Okay. So still at 40, you felt you have it, right?
Oh, I won the Arnold at 40.
Exactly. Dennis, you kind of retire, but then unretire. What was the
Yeah,
last time?
I unretired not because I thought I should or I could. I unretired because I was approached and saying, "Hey, they're planning on doing the Masters. The prize money is 250,000. Would you compete?" I said, 250,000. I don't know if you remember, but I was approached. It was basically decided by the fans at the Olympia press conference. It was like 11 weeks out.
Yeah.
The press conference, 11 weeks out. It wasn't the Masters was in December. The Olympia was in October. And then Bob told me, I said, "Yeah, you should do the Masters, you know." And then the fans kind of like got involved, and they decided, I said, let me ask my wife if she's okay with it, because I need her blessings for this. Otherwise, it's not happening. And it was literally 11 weeks, and then I did it. And I only did it because, I thought this is okay, good prize money. I didn't think that Dexter was going to fucking do it. I didn't think that Tony Freeman was going to do it. They're still active, still up there. So if it wasn't for them too, I would have won the show.
They should
Because
have
like
not be allowed it if you're competing.
yeah, and
If you
I
compete
thought the
in the
Masters, you
Open
shouldn't be.
Olympia.
I think the Masters is not interesting if you let active Mr. Olympia
Yeah,
top contenders go in.
yeah, I know. But then again, it's
So anyway, yeah, and listen, if I could have turned back and I would say, hell no, 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 no way, because I felt okay because the weight was pretty much the same going into the show. But when you compare the 244 from the Masters and the 244 that I had once at the Open Olympia, and to put the pictures next to each other, same body weight, it's two different bodies, man. It wasn't even close. I had
Yeah.
no business being up there. That's all I'm trying to say.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
hear you.
looked like a fucking master. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
That's how
That's
I
why
felt my last year.
you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
when
actually,
you're
I was 44. I was confused with that question. I was 44 my last year.
yeah, me
44.
Yeah.
too.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, you know.
Yeah. And I looked my age. I might have even
So
gotten a gift that last 2018 Olympia.
so you won the Arnold at 44?
No, I wanted it 42, 41.
Oh, 41 the Arnold, and then you did your last Olympia at 44.
Yep.
Yeah, just like me. I did my last Olympia 2010 at 44 and then came back for the Masters at 46.
Yeah.
But many guys are good over 40 still, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I'm thinking that Ramy is thinking, he can come back.
But look at it this way. Look at Ramy, his from 2013 to 2023, right? You see the body parts, you see the triceps disappearing. That's not coming back.
No.
So how much better is he going to get?
Yeah,
So the only thing he can bank on is being conditioned. Okay, he's always going to be the widest guy on stage. He's probably got always some of the biggest quads on stage. But if you turn around and if you look at certain body parts, I would, if I was his advisor, I would tell him to sit his ass down. For real.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is get out by not even placing in the top 10 or top 8 or top 7 or whatever. That's the last thing, because that will be a slap and a beat down. You know what I'm saying? That's you don't want that.
yeah.
And at 42, not
Yes.
everybody at 41, not everybody is at his best. It's not common.
Okay, let me ask Jose because Jose is not politically correct always.
No, you can ask me. You can ask me.
I'll ask him first and then you can add. 2022 Olympia, Ramy. What did you think of him?
I thought he started to drop. What year did he win? 21, 20?
20 and 21.
21, yeah. And then 22, he placed fifth.
Yeah. Well, that's when all this stuff started happening. He started losing muscle in his lats, his triceps. It started looking weird, and he placed where he probably should have placed.
Really? And the Arnold Classic, you second that on the Arnold Classic because same muscles were missing, condition was a little bit better.
Yeah, his condition was a little better. I thought it was significantly better, but
Yeah.
he
And
still
he
had
was way
those same
bigger.
issues.
And he was way bigger.
Hmm.
This ain't got nothing to do with being politically correct. I'm just
Yeah.
telling it like it is when I see him. In 2020, he was, I don't even think it was his best. I think his best was years prior, when his triceps were full, when his waist was tiny, when his
Yeah.
back was complete. But he just
Yeah.
never managed to get the condition. So in 2020, he had the condition, but he already had those issues.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as bad. And in 2021, when he also repeated, I don't think he was as good as he was in 2020.
It
He
was
was
tight.
already going backwards. And
Yeah.
he still won. And Ramy, Milos didn't have him winning. Milos thought that Hadi should have won. You
Yeah.
I
know,
agreed.
he was already going back, but he was
Yeah.
still good enough. They gave it to him. In 2023,
Two.
I guess things went bad with whatever the plan was at the end. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So it went even worse. And that's why he placed where he placed. But at the Arnold's, literally 4 months later, or whatever it was, he was full blown. That's the look he needs. You can't be with the smaller arms or the smaller triceps. His biceps is always good. So he was full blown, and I think he deserved much better.
Yeah.
What did he place? Fourth?
Yeah, fourth. And there was Samson, Nick, Andrew,
Yeah.
Big
I
Ramy,
thought I
Kelly.
thought at the Arnold he should have battled Samson for 1 and 2.
Yeah, he could have. Very well so.
I think he should have.
Yeah.
Trying to be politically correct, he should have battled Samson for
Yeah.
1 and 2.
But let me tell you, I was the first row, 2022. He was the last guy coming as Mr. Olympia always comes last. When with that music and he stepped out on stage, the first thing is like, here comes Mr. Olympia. I was
You're
impressed.
talking 2022 when he got fifth?
He plays fifth. That
Yeah.
initial impact when he came out, like, oh man, that was powerful. I didn't
Yeah.
see him sleeping. I still think that he's going to be fighting there right away, but immediately they pull him on the side,
And then he faded.
and then he started fading big time.
And
Which,
that's understandable.
yeah,
As a competitor, you missed the
yeah, yeah,
Olympics.
yeah, yeah.
Put on the side.
They take the ventil and you just deflated like
Yeah.
in minutes. Well, but let's face it, Dorian Yates had a bicep tear, non-existent, right? Didn't matter.
But
Uh,
it was one biceps. You
it's
know,
a
it's
one triceps
different
for
between
him.
triceps and the whole back.
One triceps for what's his name for Big Ramy. Uh,
Okay,
this
so what are you
had
saying?
a
So are you
bicep
saying
and a pec.
okay, so Milo, so you think that if he comes back and let's say he manages to look like he did in 2022, you think he's contending for the Olympia?
Yeah.
Honest.
No,
Don't be nice now. Just be
no,
real.
not being that,
Okay. So you think with the 2022 package, if he could get that, he could contend with
okay,
Samson, Hadi, and all the other guys to the top?
23 Arnold Classic. I think he's very competitive.
If he couldn't beat those guys in 2023, how are you going to beat him now with the same package? So explain that for the
Maybe,
listeners.
maybe they're gonna warm up to him and look at him a little bit better.
Do you
Yeah.
think it had anything to do with the fact that he would compete and then you wouldn't hear a peep from him for a year? And then
Well,
you
you didn't hear from him for a year when he won the Olympia in
Yeah.
2020. He was gone until the next year. But
yeah.
he was never like this. And listen, everything that at that time, everything that was posted on his Instagram was posted through me. I posted it. If it's up to Ramy, he
All
wouldn't
right.
even have Instagram.
So Dennis,
Right.
you have a more videos of Ramy looking like a slam dunk
I
missile.
have so much footage. I have every morning when
Yeah.
he had to do his cardio, then we do the go through the posing. I have every morning. I
See,
have
body.
footage that make you think, how the fuck can this? And in 2022, Milos, trust me, he was better at my house, way better than he was when he stepped on that stage. So when went to Vegas, from Tuesday or a Wednesday or whatever day it was, I think it was Tuesday, from Tuesday to Friday, things changed. That's all I can say. And
So
I wasn't,
would
huh?
that guy win? The
Who?
guy from your posing in your
That
house
guy,
would have won.
it's against a guy like Samson.
I mean, Samson 22 was his first Olympia,
No,
right?
I'm not talking about Samson 22. I'm talking about Samson now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Samson is complete. Ramy is not complete anymore.
Mm.
How? How would you explain this?
Yeah, yeah, but you know very well that many factors came in. Something is off. If something is a little off, size is there, width is there.
I wish you would
Body
still
part.
work with Samson. I would want to hear what you had to say then.
No, listen. I'm hugely favoring Samson. I think
Uh,
Samson can only lose if he's not in shape.
okay, so
Samson's
do
the
you
best
think
bodybuilder.
do you think that Ramy, the way he is now, can win the Olympia?
Ramy, that you talk about 2022, that you see him posing in your house, because I've seen a
In
couple of
22, it was a little different
photos.
because you didn't look because at that time I thought he just won the Olympia two times.
Mhm.
He can come in looking like he did in 2021. Why shouldn't he be able to win the Olympia? Now he's been away from so long. These guys have moved up and took over this whole top six, top seven.
Yeah.
How do you come back with the deficits that you have and just trying to fit in? You know what I'm
Have you
saying? So I
seen any
figured,
updates?
huh?
Have you seen any recent updates of Ramy?
No, you don't ever see no updates. Ron, when you see updates, that's just never new. It's all old.
I mean, has he been training the last 2 years and,
I
and
don't know. I don't
eating
know.
and
I
doing
mean, when you see
everything?
pictures of him, Rami is always big, and I'm not saying he can't be still great, but he would have to not be in Egypt. He would have to go out where he can just focus on training and dieting because it's not the easiest thing for him to do.
Yeah.
You put
He
it
would have to totally isolate and give it another shot. I don't know how much stem cells helped him with the back. I don't know. I know for a fact that it didn't help much in the triceps because you can see it in close. Because when he wears t-shirts, you can see the triceps are not there. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about the outer head, not the inner head. The inner head is good. The outer head is just gone. And I can show you pictures and videos of Ramy with the triceps
Yeah, crazy.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Ramy had
Something
a trust
happened, some
issue.
nerve damage that affected both triceps and the back.
Mm.
I
I
don't know if
wouldn't want
that,
to see it.
huh?
I wouldn't want to see it. I like remembering him the way he was.
Yeah, that's why I say what I say. I don't like to come for him to come back and play seventh, eighth, or ninth,
Yeah.
possibly. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to bust your
Yeah.
ass at 42. He just had twins. It's another thing, so he's active.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
wouldn't want him to give it his everything at this age. You know what I mean? And just because he's not doing it because he wants to place in the top 10. If he would do it, he would want to win.
Yeah.
But you
But
know how it is when you've been away for years, because it's been gone for what? 3, 4 years?
2023, 3 years. March. I mean, 2 years, right? Yeah,
Long enough. Long
Yeah,
enough
so
that
that's a,
it
that's
would
a
be
long
hard.
time at over 40 years old. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you start to train and you start to get, I mean, Ramy can get 350 pounds. That's not even a problem. But that's not what these guys need to what these guys are worried about no more. Nobody cares how much you weigh no more.
yeah.
No.
You know, a Hadi can stand next to you at 225, 230 pounds and can hold his own against anybody.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So what does he have? You know, he has nothing to gain. He has everything to lose, I think. And that's how I feel. And like I said, if he says I'm doing it, I would be happy and I would support him either way. Go ahead and give it everything. But if he would ask me for advice, I would tell him, what do you have? You have 2 titles. Can nobody take that away from you? I
Yeah.
Maybe
would
he's
tell him
got a
straight, I would,
sponsor or something.
huh?
Maybe he's got a sponsor that's encouraging him to do it and willing to pay him if he does it.
Yeah, I can't even see him doing that, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if he calls me and says I'm doing it, then I believe it. But I don't care what I hear from people saying. I can start a rumor right here, right now.
Right.
And that shit is so far away from the truth, and that shit will go out, and everybody's gonna pick it up and mention it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you hear it from him saying, I'm coming back and I'm competing at the Mr. Olympia. It's not happening.
You have his phone number. Call him now. Call him now. Just ask. But listen, none of
But
us want to see him slip even further from last Olympia where he was fifth. So imagine,
yeah.
nobody wants to do it. But I don't think he's coming back if he thinks this can happen. I was impressed 2023 Arnold. I was really impressed. I think he
Mhm.
was super competitive. If he can gain on that one, he's only 40. I mean, Jose, you compared 44 still, right? And then is, shit. I think he maybe still has it. And triceps, okay, maybe I'm not going to say fill it up with something, but it was not that kind of stuff.
I said it real quick, but I didn't mean it.
Very quick. Yeah. Not that I know anything about it. Yeah,
Oh.
shit. Oh, wow.
No, well, listen, like I said, just because he said I'll be back or something, then Arnold said that too. You know what I mean? So, that doesn't tell you anything unless he's saying, listen, he said he never retired, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to come back to compete. That means I never officially retired. He never told me he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's see. Maybe he had some good results with the stem cells and
We
and
were
his
talking
back
about
is better.
you
If
know,
his back is better,
hmm,
then I think the triceps, they can go, we can not worry about the triceps because you can't see it in the front double. You literally only see it when he lets it, and that's when his shoulders look so overpowering because that triceps is not full no more. There's no flare on the triceps, so his shoulders they stand out even more, and that's when they say, "Oh, he's got his shoulders filled up," because they stand out so far,
Yeah.
and that's just because the triceps is not full.
hmm.
You know. But let's talk about current bodybuilders, man.
The new freak.
We had a show in Portugal this last weekend. And Rubiel just did a double on us, man. He won Italy last week. He won Portugal this week. I think that was his absolute best. I'm not saying that was perfect. I think that was the best he's ever been. And I think with that showing, he put himself on the map even a little bit more. What do you guys
Oh
think?
yeah. I think I got to give Chris Cormier some credit because I had an argument with him a year ago, and I'm like, this kid is. I wasn't impressed. Yeah, he's huge, but now that he's getting in shape, I'm seeing things that are really impressive. Like his
Yeah.
back double is impressive. for someone who doesn't have supposedly wide shoulders, he looks crazy from behind. Even
Yeah.
his rear lat spread's really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I
He
mean,
every shot he's posing better, his conditions better. He can be very dangerous.
yeah. If he drops another 5 to 10 pounds from where he's at right now, and he's super peeled,
So
yeah,
side poses are unbeatable.
unbeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that Jose is noticing, I noticed too, like he didn't supposed to have such a good back. Holy hell, when he hit the back double biceps. Oh man. And then he opened up a lat spread into the thickness. The other thing I mentioned to Chris, I didn't see the ropes on the hamstrings. And when he moved, you could actually kind of see it. He still doesn't pose correctly, but when you move around and you see them, vertical ropes, ooh,
Yeah.
now he had some glutes going on there too. Crazy deep abs, flat stomach, wide waist, flat stomach. So you just need to a little bit to learn how to pull in, which Dennis knew how to do it. Chris knows how to pull the obliques in a little bit, right? And then for him, so be it. If he does classic physique or men's physique kind of twist to create smaller waist, hey, I'm just shocked about his arms. I think that arms are his biggest weakness. When I look at
Hmm?
he goes into the front double biceps, nothing happens.
They're
Did you
probably
notice that?
huge, but everything else is overpowering. He just
His
needs a
arms
little
are
bigger
fucking
arms.
big, man. His arms are big. He's got some big arms, tries and bis.
Yeah, but to look at him in the front double biceps.
I think it's the way he poses. I think he still can get much better just from changing up his posing a
uh,
little bit.
his wrists are in front of his elbows. He needs
Yeah.
externally rotate.
Yeah. I mean, he's a diamond in the rough. I mean, all you got to do is just, you know, from where he is right now, he's still by far the biggest guy on stage. I mean, it's not even
Oh
close.
yeah.
Nathan is a big guy, right?
Mhm.
Nathan is
Yeah.
a big guy. Nathan is it's like 250, 260 on stage.
Yeah.
Nathan looked,
And he's got big quads, but his
yeah,
quads look thin next to
yeah.
Rubiel.
He made everybody look small. He made Bruno look tiny. He
Yeah.
made Nathan, even in the side, and Nathan from the side is very powerful. And I actually like Nathan's side just very much. Let's talk about Nathan real quick. Nathan got third. Bruno got second.
Controversial.
I think Nathan should have got the second place locked in, man, hands down.
I agree. I
You
agree.
know what? As much as we talked about Nathan deserved fourth the week prior, I mean, and to Dubai, he should have never got less than second. There's no chance of first. I mean, it wasn't even close. But Bruno, I mean,
Bruno looks small in that lineup.
Yeah, legs are
it's,
down a little bit, and yeah, I love Bruno. He's a friend of mine, and I used to coach him, and yeah,
yeah,
I'm happy for him. But you see, even if I was coaching a bias coach, I would say, if I'm judge, I would have given to Nathan. Nathan
yeah.
was convincing in pretty much all the poses.
It's just, yeah. It
Yeah, there was
was,
a lot of controversy on that one.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to get Tarek on because, I mean, I already know what people are saying because Tarek is Brazilian and that's
Right.
why he put him in second and not in third. And the same with what's the other guy, Milos, one of your ex guys that did the classic.
Horse
Supposedly
MD,
that was controversial too.
horse
You
MD.
know, we weren't there, but it's a good. And Tarek will, I'm sure he will come on and he will explain what he saw. We weren't there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. We cannot really judge. We can only judge off what we see. But from what I saw on pictures and videos, maybe Carter can put the video up real quick. I just didn't see how Bruno even had a shot. Matter of fact, I think Bruno could have easily lost to Fabian Maya too, who
The
wasn't crazy.
classic physique guy, right?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so. I don't think so. Fabian's upper body was not match.
So we got Nathan on the left. Look at Fabian and Bruno. Fabian's got better. He's not as big as Bruno, but he's got better shape and he's better condition.
Lower body, upper body, no.
Look
Upper
at Nathan's side chest there. Like Nathan said, but Rubiel is so fucking thick, man. That's crazy.
That lat spread of Rubiel was something else, man.
The front lat spread.
Yeah.
He
So
grew
now
his
think,
shoulder width somehow.
look at this one. Look at this one.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Look at the calves from Nathan and from Rubiel. That's like the quad on top.
And you see the hamstring glute tie-in for Rubiel. I mean, things are happening there. Like, so imagine if he comes most peeled guy at the Mr. Olympia. Listen,
Yeah.
most peeled. Then what you do with him?
Yeah.
He'll
And
be in the mix.
you remember when I said he can move into the top, and some people thought I was stupid for saying that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And even this wide
Great
waist,
abs.
abs and thighs. You
Hmm.
great abs, great abs.
Yeah, but with quads like this, I don't even think your waist can be wide. Look at them quads.
And most muscular. So Rubiel basically has every mandatory pose. Now, frontal biceps is not convincing for me too much. You know, abs and thighs. Even Chris was saying before he was beating Samson in Prague. You remember when he was saying that? And shit, he has better abs, deeper abs.
If he can get
Yes.
the separation in the quads, if
Mm.
he can get that condition that his quads are totally separated,
Mm.
I think he would be fighting for top four, top five spot.
But Jose, what do you think? I mean, you've seen the pictures of Rubiel like a few years back. He looked like a regular guy.
Yeah.
How can this be possible?
Hard work. You can tell he's putting in the work because he just in 1 year he's morphed into something else. Like his shape looks better. Obviously his posing, his presentation is a lot better. His condition is a lot better. And he still got a ways to go. Like
He's
Dennis
only,
said,
what is it, 28, 27?
yeah,
That-
every shot there is, your eye goes to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can you be this big and a flat stomach? That's the Ramy was the same. I just could never understand it. That means that he doesn't have to eat for size.
Right. He's not that big of an eater.
Yeah, he doesn't have to eat to get that big, man. Some people just have to eat. Like me, I ate. Maybe I probably overate for fucking years. Thank you, Milo.
When
Anyways,
Asshole coach told you to do it.
when when Chris Aceto was helping Ramy, I asked him, like, what does he have to eat? He's like, he eats the exact same amount as you. And
yeah,
I was half the size of him.
yeah, it's true though. And
Yep.
when with Rubiel, it's probably the same thing. They probably have some kind of myostatin deficiency, you
It
know,
has to be.
and for that they can just grow because it's in a short period of time, and there's no steroids in the world that can make you grow from nothing to this,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. Thanks, Carter. We appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Weider, Olympia Finals, start now!
Yeah. Super
So
impressive. And listen,
yeah.
he has the two wins. I mean, I spent my
So if
whole
he has the
life like that.
mindset, if the Milos take 10 pounds off of him and get him peeled, where do you see him place?
First call out, and then the shit can hit the fan. Then
Shit
you
can
gotta
hit the
pose.
fan for real.
Yeah,
Put him
pose
next,
by
put him
pose.
next. Okay, put him next to Samson and look at him peeled. What do you see?
I mean, Samson, as you say, he has that shape, beautiful shape. Hashtag bodybuilding. You know,
Mhm.
taper. And that's what Rubiel didn't have. He's improving, like Jose is saying, he's posing correct. What is Rubiel number one issue? Straight up and down. Okay, so he have to create the illusion of V-taper. He still, because of the traps and the neck, he still have a tendency to drop the shoulder. He has to be that. He has to be like this all the time. And he has to pull in the stomach, waist, because stomach is great. Legs, even though you don't like how he puts that leg out, and I'm not a fan of it, but then when I look, it looks pretty good, man. You know,
Mm.
it's so much size, there's some separation, you crazy calf. How can you, down judge him with that? And then he turns to the side. Side chest, side triceps, he's there with Samson. I mean, I was biased coach. You say I still give it to him on shape, but this is overwhelming mass. And look, there is no way that side poses are shapely poses. It's no shape freak that is going to be more shapely on the side. Side is a power pose. Thickness here, right? You don't see the width of the waist and width of the shoulders. You just size is thickness, and he is a thick. Then he goes
Jose,
back to biceps. All of a sudden, his back is fucking wide and
that's
detailed.
why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. Let him drop 10 more pounds. His shape's going to change even more.
Yeah,
Jose,
Yeah.
10 pounds off the physique that he presented this past weekend. Comes in super peeled, deep separations in the quads. What can happen?
Anything. I mean, Nick Walker's been third at the Olympia.
Yeah,
If he's as peeled as Nick, he could give Nick a tough time. And everyone has Nick in the first call out,
yeah,
right?
it's
yeah.
true.
Not just the first call out, but potential to even win the show.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him come in next year and come to New York. People freak out over him,
Yeah.
no matter what happens at the Olympia.
I hope he decides to do the Olympia.
Can he get in? Did we discuss that already?
I think he's working on the visa. They've been working on the visa for like a year or so.
Hey, listen, now that he got 2 wins, he's going to be more inclined to do more shows. That's fucking fun. And
Yeah.
Well, we don't, but you know how it is nowadays. Nowadays, athletes listen to their coaches
eh,
when it comes to where to compete and what to. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, I know.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is, and I don't know how it is with them because he pulled out of a few shows probably on his coach's request, not knowing that he's not going to be ready. So I don't know what the camp thinks if they are ready to come to the Olympia. Maybe they're going to do a Phil Heath and say, "Oh, we're going to sit out." Phil Heath sat out 2 years.
I know.
So maybe they do. I don't know.
Maybe he
Maybe
did the right thing. I mean, maybe. Look, 2007 Arnold that they just posted, maybe
mm,
that was also a reason why they said, like, listen, you're still not ready to beat them. You need to widen up and all that. Maybe it was the right decision. I like,
it definitely worked out for him. I mean, he won 2 shows out of three.
yeah. But
Okay,
Jose, I have a question. Dennis and I discussed this about guys signing up for the show, and then Monday is the deadline, and then you miss the deadline, and then you're not allowed, and all these kind of things. Do you remember back in the day, at the end of the year, you send a list of the shows that you're potentially interested?
Yeah.
And then promoters get the list and they say, oh, okay, I want Dennis. I'll pay for your hotel and flight. Oh, I want Jose, Milos. And even if it's not maybe both, maybe sometimes they just cover hotel. God knows. But they have this right there. And then at the end of the year, plan. Who fails to plan plans to fail? Like, what? Those guys don't know what they're going to do next year? I mean, you already mapped out this year. You're going to do now these shows in Olympia. Maybe you want to take a break for Arnold. Maybe you want to do Arnold right away. And then if you do the Arnold, there are a few more shows around. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I believe, and Dennis is promoter. So he was kind of saying he would like to have the name so he can promote. And I think all the promoters,
But Milos, the way you explained it, that would have been perfect for a promoter because if I can send you, I said, listen, I will cover your hotel. You give me the okay, I can already promote you probably a year out. So
okay.
I have no issue with what you're saying.
Again, this is a platform we can talk about and share our opinions. So sometimes they say like, "Oh, I'm against the federation." No, I'm giving my input and listen. If it makes sense, makes sense. So every promoter you are would like to have a name as soon as possible. so you can promote it, right?
Yeah.
And then why not late entry? I understand rule is a rule, sign up, sign up, sign up at the end of the year for potential shows. And here it is. You're competing. You're competing Sunday night in Dubai. Maybe, you wanted to see how you're going to do in Dubai to maybe make a plan for Italy. Then, you placed bad. You didn't really think about it. Then you went on a flight like Nathan the ASHA 12 minutes late. Nope, you're not allowed. Why is not late entry? Late entry. Give them the chance. And the other thing is, I would like to see a list on IBB.com. So far, signed athletes. So far, okay? So, guy from Spain and Italy and whatever, France, he said, oh, this show is there. This guy is coming. I'm a big fan. I'm going to set my flight 3 months in advance. I'm not going to wait for a Monday and then Tuesday fly on Thursday. So I don't understand why is this not published publicly, transparent, and encouraged. Okay, guys, come on. And why is Monday? Give them until goddamn Wednesday. That's my opinion. Because who is losing? Promoters are losing, audience is losing, and federation doesn't have anything except I set those rules. Okay, I set the rule and follow the rules. Okay, you can avoid it. So, Jose, are you for last minute entries?
I'm on both sides because when I competed, just like you, I got the list of the shows I wanted to do, and then they would send me the contracts. I'd sign them and send them back because I knew what I wanted to do. But if a show popped up that I didn't know about, I would reach out to the promoter and ask them. I don't know if it's a league-wide thing or if it's up to each individual promoter. Like if it was the promoters.
What do you mean it's a league-wide thing?
Like did Nathan go to ifbb.com to sign up for this competition, or did he reach out to the promoter?
That's how it works now. Since definitely since last year, as an IFBB, there's no contracts. You get no contracts sent no more. It is all online. You have to go on the website. You have to literally go on the show and fill out the form, whatever the basically the waiver or the agreement that you compete in the show. And they set the deadline Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, I think it is, the Monday before the show that week. Doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday. So that was set last year. And the first one that literally had, had to learn the hard way was Antonio Burton, who did the Brazil, the Arnold in Brazil, where he got second to Rafael. And then he wanted to do, I think it was Detroit, right, Milos?
Mm-hmm.
A week after. And he was after the deadline, they didn't let him in because, and the reason is that we have to set the rules and keep it there so everybody knows. So since then, every IFBB pro knows you have to be registered before the deadline. So yes, it was unfortunate for Nathan. He said he was 12 minutes late, but you could have done it Saturday after the show in Italy or in Dubai. Why did you wait till Monday deadline? Or why did you wait till Monday period? If you know you're doing the show, I'm not saying why not let him enter at the end? I don't care if they make the deadline Friday before. I don't care because it doesn't matter if it's Monday or Friday for me as a promoter. It doesn't matter no more.
So
if you know as a promoter, if you have to go to work at 8 in the morning, you can't come at 10 saying, "Oh, I overslept." It might get away one time, but then so you get to a point where you said, "This is when we start. The business has to be open at 8. You got to open at 8."
Okay.
It's a stupid comparison.
Now everyone knows.
It's just when you know. I mean, if you know,
Okay.
Dubai, he should have signed up right away. It's online. It's not like you have to go to an office. There's no post office or nothing. You can do it online from your phone.
Serious question. Now you have a group of promoters and why is Monday and the strict rules we have?
I don't know, Milos. I have no idea. That's a question for the pro league.
You as a promoter, you would welcome even the late entries. Some dude that wants to enter on Thursday night, he calls you. I want to, like he did the France or whatever.
I don't have a problem with that. Absolutely, I don't have a problem.
I think that I would love to have him. I would love to have any good competitor,
Yeah.
for that matter, any competitor pretty much, because there are only like 10 showing up. You would want to enhance the experience for the audience and more competitive
I
show.
know, but maybe because maybe they do Monday, so at least the promoter has at least a week to promote
So,
names because the people, not maybe the promoter, but the fans would know, oh, Samson is competing there. If they find out Friday, they might not have a way to get to that show no more because they live 10 hours away from it or whatever.
okay,
So
but
Monday, if
But
I
they
know
could buy the
Monday,
live stream.
yeah, but if I know Monday he's competing, now I'm okay, I'm gonna change my plans. I'm gonna go watch this show Samson's competing.
so
That's a good example.
how about if this list is transparently posted months in advance, so you can see, okay, in Italy or Portugal, there are so many guys. Oh, there's just so little guys. So you
It's the
see,
same, Milos, it's the same issue we have with amateurs now. These guys wait till last minute to sign up. These people don't commit 3 months, 6 months out. They wait to see if they can get in shape. That's how bad it is at the moment. These guys wait till they get in shape, and when they, oh yeah, I can make it, let me sign up.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
think
You need to plan to be in shape.
I know, but as a
Well, give
promoter,
yourself an
you
out.
also know back into, I mean, years ago, if your registration is open 3 months out, you have half the competitors already signed up.
Yeah.
Now, fucking 3 weeks out, you still be like, oh, wait a minute, what's happening here? And then in the last 7 to 10 days, you see people sign up. They wait. They wait. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sucks for the promoter.
absolutely. But what can you do? I mean, these guys have, if they have till Monday, they can sign. And if they would have till Friday, they would probably, most of them would probably register Thursday night.
Right. Yeah,
I,
I would make the cutoff even sooner. Like 3 weeks.
That's what I almost suggested, but then I got jumped on
no, no,
by the non-promoters.
we did it by previous year. You sign up. I was signing up for all my shows year before. Okay, so they can promote. Like Wayne Amelia wanted to promote. He put on the posters,
Yeah.
stuff like this. When I was late entry, they didn't want to pay for anything on mine because, okay,
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
have.
So, but now you're advocating for them to be able to do the late entry. So
We could
why
have
not?
do late entries. We could have do a very late entry. Okay, example here. The classic guy, Fabian, right? He didn't sign up for open division. He missed the weight.
But
Okay,
that's what they do. That's what we do with amateurs too. If you miss your weight, you get a chance to compete in the open and
okay,
or in bodybuilding. That's what we
okay.
do.
But technically speaking, he's not on the list. You're supposed to make the weight. You didn't. You're not classic. So now he's entering an open division. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
by theory, that's a rule or rules. You didn't sign up for this show.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. You should compliment that.
I compliment everything. That's why I say the last minute, 12 minutes is nothing. Okay, spank. Okay, don't be late next time. But why not late entry Friday? Oh, if it's why not? Anyway,
I
I,
think the
before
promoter should have his own discretion and not be cut off by the league.
yeah,
If the promoter wants a last minute Sansom data in his show, he should be able to allow it.
I tell you this, as a promoter, you don't know who's competing in your show until they release the list on Monday.
Yeah.
You can
shouldn't be that
see,
way.
I can see how many numbers are signed up,
You don't know who it is.
but I don't know who.
Why is that kept secret? What sense does it make? So you can't promote. You cannot say Urs Kalichansky is going to be in the show.
Is this some, I can't, I wish I could tell you exactly because I remember I asked one time. It's something by law, something
A
that,
law? Okay.
yeah,
It's
something.
not by logic. If it's
I,
law, okay, but
yeah,
not by
some
logic.
data, there's some, yeah. I can't put it back together, so I'm not going to say something and then say something wrong. I can't. I mean, but there was something that had to do something by shit. I don't even know what's the word for it. See, we just talked about losing words.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always had communication with the promoters. They would always reach out to me months and months ahead of time,
yeah.
sometimes a year before. And just by talking to them,
Back then, the difference was, Jose, there wasn't as many promoters as now. Most of
Right.
the promoters now have zero contact with any of the top pros or any pros whatsoever.
That's their own problem. They need
I
to.
know, but it's not like you get the list, your name and the phone numbers or emails from the pros.
Yeah, you can
You,
DM them
you-
on Instagram.
That's what
yeah,
Instagram.
you can, but if you want to DM everybody, I tell you what they're going to tell you. "Oh, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think
Yeah,
about it. What do you think? How many times we've done this? I'll
yeah.
think about it. It's hard to get one on the podcast. How you think? How hard it is to get one on the show and to compete?
Well,
It's not that easy, man. It's harder, man. Back in the days, it was easier. It's getting harder every time. You can't, it's not that easy. I think about it. I think about it. I'll see if I can make it happen. And then that was the end of the conversation.
yeah, I don't get it.
You
People
know,
used to
there
love to
might be
compete.
there might be a few of them that they would appreciate it and say, "Hey, shit, he would help me out. I'm jumping on this."
Yeah.
But it's all like, oh, he's doing the show. He's doing the show. I don't think I can beat them. So why would I go?
Yes.
Then
No,
why do you get out of bed in the morning?
that's the thinking today.
Yeah.
That's the way they think today.
I still
And
don't get it. I still don't get it. I
I
was,
don't get it either.
yeah,
We will never get it, Milos. We will never understand why this is.
I mentioned this 2,000 times already, but I'm going to say in front of Jose. Jose, you were entering the shows, you knew that even like an open, you can maybe squeak into the top five, you
Yeah.
know. And I was going to the European tours. I know that the only way I'm fifth place if somebody's off. Usually they're not going to be. So I'm going to play six, seven, eight, yeah, and make zero money. And I couldn't wait to go. So I don't know.
Right.
Oh, this guy's entering. I'm pulling out. You
All right,
next.
I'm going to
That's
say it
lucky guy.
again. I'll say it before, and I'm going to say it again. It is not all the time, not all, but most,
Mhm.
because they're fucking coaches telling what shows to do and what show not to do.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that's how this
that's what
works. And with
that's
the females, more than with the guys. But there's a lot of guys, oh, my coach thinks I shouldn't do this show. The fuck is your coach, your fucking dad?
Right.
yeah.
You tell him what show you want to do. His job is to get you in shape.
He's telling you don't shut up on Tuesday for work, just other
But
days.
Milos, that's how it is.
No,
Most of these coaches, they have fucking six athletes doing the same show. So they tell me, oh no, you do this one, you don't do that one. I hear it all the time. The
Yeah.
coach,
but
no,
They
my
don't want their athletes competing against each other.
yeah.
I don't know what to think. They think their thought process is behind that. I just don't understand that. For as a coach, my number one thing would be for him to get as much stage time as he possibly can.
Exactly.
For me to learn his body quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I say? Tell your coach to go fuck himself. That's
Yeah,
That's it. That's points
that's
out.
what I always say the same. When I hear an athlete tell me, "Oh, my coach," I say, "What the fuck? You pay your coach, so you pay him to tell you no?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
A
listen,
lot of times I speak with athletes, not females also. They would love to compete in a certain show, and the coach said no.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
exactly.
So for all you listeners out there, if you have a coach, tell your coach to fuck himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You do what
You
you want
tell
to
your coach
do.
what show you want to do. Don't let the coach tell you, no, not this show, do that show. Not
I'm
only coaches, there's
granted.
managers out there too.
A couple of times I wish that my guys would pull out of the show, I have to say, right? But even then, I said, okay, let's just go for it. But before I forgot, listen, this is very important. Jose, you didn't see in the last episode we were talking about the Italian pro that was dancing on a stage.
Oh boy.
And we scrutinized him and everybody and I. So I got actually a message from him. A
Yeah.
sweetheart of the guy. I already love him, Michel Paglis.
Does
And
that make his routine better?
I would hold on. Now, this is
Milos was harsh on him.
I was super harsh, and he took it wrong, and Sean Ray and whoever else was saying like, oh my God, this is disgrace, and it shouldn't be done. So he started with, uh, he doesn't understand posing routines is not being judged. Okay, so that was his first point. Posing routine is not being judged. Ding, check
But it
mark,
is.
check mark. Okay, that's good. Okay. Secondly, he wanted to entertain the crowd, because he thought, okay, he's Italian and over there, this is, his crowd, and he wanted to entertain him. He didn't think it would be disrespectful. Now, when I explained him, listen, you can't be in a soccer match or football or basketball or MMA ring and then start dancing because you want to entertain the crowd. You have to do what your sport requires, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so he understood completely, and he wanted kind of to apologize and to IBB and audience. He didn't take it that way. I guess he lost his father 3 years ago, and bodybuilding is keeping him alive, and it's like all his passion. And he wanted to have the happy moment, and he wanted to have a happy moment for the maybe some specific people in the audience that he had. But he realized that he made a mistake, and he wanted to basically apologize. I asked, "Can I talk about it in the podcast?" He says, "Go ahead." It's a wonderful guy, but I can see that mistake, which brings me to that point again. How can you go to the college or a school and have a whichever subject is not going to be scored at the end of the school, end of semester? How can you have a bodybuilding? I know Dennis is rolling the eyes, but seriously, we say this and then we leave it alone. How can you have a part
We
of?
don't have a committee to change things here.
We have a voice, and if more
Yeah,
of
we
us have a
voiced it.
voice,
Yeah, but we voiced it. We
so
voiced
how
it.
can you do
But
anything
now
on stage that's not
you
being
want
judged?
go ahead, do it again.
So listen,
For the ones that
anything,
didn't hear it.
anything on the stage that is not being judged. What are you doing on the stage then? Be
But
backstage.
he is being judged by all of us.
All of us, yeah, but
Bodybuilding purists that want to see a beautiful posing routine.
us
And
purists. Why
yeah,
is not everybody purist? Why is not everybody involved in a true core fundamentals of bodybuilding, which is
That
posing?
was actually a good Jose. Thank you for that answer because now I know what to say next time Milos brings it up again.
I'm purist.
We judge him. We judge him. We judge that get dude dancing. You called
yeah,
him all kind of things. So we judge him. He's doing that for us, right?
yeah.
So we
No,
have
no,
the right to
but
judge him.
He's doing it for the
dancing is
fans.
not allowed.
Yeah. I don't even mind a little bit of it. Kai Green used to do his thing
That is it.
and that was really entertaining, really good.
But
He
he
managed to mix in
incorporated.
posing.
Yeah,
This
he
guy didn't
incorporated.
even pose.
Yeah, not a pose, not even a pose.
It was
So, but
really
anyways,
strange.
listen, I get that he said he want to do it for the crowd because that's the only one that's going to judge him in that moment.
Yeah.
But
Being judged.
how many in that crowd was thinking like, "What the fuck is that?"
No, all the ladies love it.
The ladies,
Yeah,
yeah,
so that's good.
yeah. But
Did you
if you
notice
want to
that
do it for the ladies, you should have done it in the club the night before.
that same week
I hope
there
it
was
is. I
a
I wish
hope it's
I
not
could move
message.
like that.
I
there
hope
was a
it's not
men's
message to
physique
me.
guy who was doing that. A guy named Sean T. He was doing some breakdancing. It was much less than what this guy did, but it
I
was
did some.
still a
I
little much.
incorporated some pop locking, Jose, in my routines, but
I remember.
I
Yeah,
had poses going into that because somebody
yeah.
mentioned you talk about this guy and you was dancing too. Yeah, I was dancing, but I was doing my pose.
Very little.
That is,
Melvin Anthony used to do it,
Yeah,
but
I
it,
don't
it
call it
went
dancing.
with
I call it transitioning.
yes, very different from what that guy was doing.
Yeah, he
And
was
he
doing
did it for like a minute straight.
hey,
yeah.
that is made the faces with each pose too. Remember?
Yeah. It was good though. That was entertaining. I
Okay,
mean,
but you said a purist of bodybuilding. Now, is entertainment judged in the bodybuilding? It should be judged. It is a goddamn physique show. All 3 rounds were physique in the symmetries, physique in the muscularity, chosen poses, every muscle from every angle, good. And now physique in poses under the mandatories. It's not movement, entertainment, the choreography, music, because that's what everybody comes back to me and like, oh, how did Dorian beat Sean at the posing round or Vince Taylor? It's not posing in the choreography that is being judged. It's physique that is being judged. Yeah, it's nice if you can put it like Lila Brada and everybody else, entertain the crowd. I was one time only commentating Olympia when King Kamali was posing that his thing, and I said, oh,
yeah,
he didn't do the 2 poses. Yeah, as entertaining as it, he brought the house down. I understand, but that part is not bodybuilding. Okay.
yeah.
People love it. And they say, okay, let's bring the best poser award for Anthony.
Why, see what you just said?
Yeah.
He was entertaining and he brought the house down,
Yeah.
but he didn't pose. So can he call himself the best poser of all time?
No.
No.
But doesn't he call himself the best poser?
Entertainment. But listen,
Doesn't he call
it's
himself
not
the best poser?
entertainment.
No, no,
It's
no. I'm not talking about
entertainment. It's
entertainment.
a
I'm not
physique
talking about
show.
the entertainment part. Now, when we talk about entertainment and posing, there's one person that comes to mind, and that's Melvin Anthony.
Anthony. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
He posts every pose in the book and mix it with entertainment. So he can call himself the best poser in the world, in my eyes.
I
Because
agree.
not only did he have, you could tell him copy Lila Brada's routine. You could tell him copy this guy's routine. He would copy it to the T, but he brings some entertainment along with it. And that's why, for me, that's best posing, you know?
Sailor comes in mind like on a Melvin Anthony level as entertainment, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Other
Vince,
comes in mind as bodybuilding posing.
yeah, but Vince had the Terminator routine. And what else? What else did he do that was entertaining other than that? The macadamia? Oh,
Yeah, I didn't want to say Macarena because that's dancing. Yeah.
That's funny.
So if it wasn't for Vince's Terminator routine, would he be known as a poser?
He was good. Listen, no.
He was a good poser, yeah.
He did a John Brown. John Brown teach Sean Raven, Taylor, Melvin Anthony. He tried to teach me. I couldn't do it because I have two left legs and I don't have that, brother movement in me. It's like Melvin was a kid. He was videotaping what John was teaching me, and I couldn't do it like 10 times in a row. So John goes like, Melvin, give me the camera. Okay, show him. And Melvin, kid, does it perfect. All these turns and squat down, lunge down, turn around, spin around. Like, so you have to have that in you. But before, I know that Dennis, you're going to rush us, and I wanted to have Jose's opinion about other sensitive topic. Prize money distribution in the bodybuilding shows. Okay, so I am no longer competing. I don't have a horse in a race, but my opinion always was that prize money should be a little bit differently distributed. Of course, winners are not going to like this exactly. Okay, now I'm getting $750,000 at Arnold or 600,000 at Olympia. Yeah, winner takes all. How about all the other guys that bust their asses and go there, and then there is a chump change for them? I know that Sean Ray would be saying, okay, second place is first loser. I talked to my wife yesterday. She's all, oh, no, winner takes all, and all that stuff. And then I remember there was a commercial back in the day with Sergio Oliva Sr. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. Sergio Oliva Sr. and I don't even know what was commercial about, but it was quite long. And then in the end, they have to put the name because he was the second place. Nobody remembers the second place. And there goes the Arnold, right?
Yeah.
And kind of it is. I understand. But for all the brothers of iron, they're competing, and all the promoters, and I say, why is such a crazy discrepancy that you're going to get 750 and you're going to get maybe zero over there or $1,000?
Where's zero? What Olympia anybody get?
After top 10, nobody is getting money.
That's not true. Who told you
100% true. I was fighting.
Everybody gets paid. Everybody gets paid.
There was
They get a stipend. They get a stipend of like $400 when you check in.
Oh,
that's per diem.
that's per diem. Everybody gets paid though. Even if
No.
Dennis.
Since when? Since when?
Again, I don't know when.
In the 212, only the top 3 get paid, or top 3 get paid in 212, and then the top 10 in the open. That's it.
Well, since we're at that point, I'd like to say you too can unlock your full potential with the cutting edge lineup from High Tech Pharmaceuticals. All you have to do is just follow them on IG and Facebook. Visit High Tech Pharma for a deep dive into their science-backed formulas that will power your performance, strength, and also bring you some of the best results.
Fuel your grind with the science of results. High-tech pharmaceuticals brings power, performance, and precision to every product. Elevate your fitness. Visit hightechpharma.com today. Backed by science. Built for strength.
Since when only the top 10 in the Open?
I don't know whether it was a breakup, but I talk about it. I was fighting with Wayne D'Amelia that posed the Sean Ray was saying
I'm not mistaken.
and
If I'm
myself.
not mistaken,
Why? Listen, my post is like 10 days, and there is a text from Flex Magazine. Why those athletes are getting no dime? My word, no dime. Okay.
the last I read,
that
the
was
last
that
I
was
remember
2001 already.
since 2001.
That was 2001 or two, I think.
No, Milos, no. This was, listen, you're right. In 2001, there was nobody after the top 10. And then you remember the 2003 press conference when Lee Priest was talked about it, everybody athletes, and then Dwayne DeMille says, well, put it in writing. And Lee pulled out his paper that he already wrote that night. And that year in 2003, they started giving everybody 2,000 out of the top 10.
Hey,
and this went up to 4,000 for everybody that's not placing in the top 10 gets $4,000. So how come you guys don't know that?
I have no clue, so I'm talking on my ass. I challenge you on that one. There's no way that everybody's getting $4,000 of the top 10.
But it was like that. I don't know if that stopped.
It might have been
I have
briefly.
no idea.
No way.
Huh?
Briefly after that Lee Priest episode. But for the 10 years I competed, no one got paid after the top 10.
I'm only talking about the Open. I don't know about the other categories. I'm talking about the Open.
Okay, so this again subject just for the federation, for the promoters, for the athletes. Are we brothers of iron? Do we care for each other? Should we distribute a little bit? So why would you jump from 500 to 200 to 750? So $250,000 goes to one guy.
Yeah.
Why is not distributed to everybody?
We've been saying this since the early 2000s. We've been talking about this.
So we keep talking. You know,
only
if
different.
you don't
Yeah.
put the pressure, and it's just
I like that.
It's a simple fix, really.
I really like that.
You limit it to 15 to 20 athletes per division. That's it at the Olympia. All that money on flights, per diem, hotel could go back to the athletes that are actually there competing.
Can you put it in writing on a screen? Like, Nico can put in a writing.
Yeah. It's simple. Simple as that.
I'm all for this. I'm for everybody.
You are for it, but nobody speaks, and then nothing is being done.
Listen, but understand one thing. If you have 60 competitors in one category, who's paying for all this?
The Olympia.
You know what I'm saying? So before you can advocate for everybody's getting paid, you need to bring those numbers down.
Listen,
there's no 60 best in the world. Those 60 are not the best in the world. So you narrow it down to 15, 10 or 15, then you can say those are the best.
Even 20. You're still saving a ton of money.
Yeah. How many times we had an Olympia with 20 guys back in the day? So that's almost never.
Right?
In the 90s.
And back then there was more opportunities to qualify because top 3 in the regular shows
and top 5 Arnold, top 5 NOC, top 3 any other show. Yeah. And then we have 13 guys qualify.
Yeah.
For the 97 Olympia. We had 16 guys 99. I forgot 98.
I feel for Jake on this one. Because listen, Jake is trying his best. And if you have to bring 450 competitors in, just think about that. Bring them in and get them hotels. Now everybody wants prize money?
Listen,
no.
There's a reason why the Arnold only invites 10 guys or 12 or whatever it is.
Yeah, up to 15 at the most.
So I think this should narrow it down to literally the top 10 or the top 15. And I think there should be no more, because how are you going to say those are the best in the world when there's 60 guys and there's 40 of them that qualified because nobody showed up?
Right.
So they don't belong. They don't belong on that stage. And unfortunately, we still have athletes on that Olympia stage that they have no business being on that stage, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Without question.
That should be eliminated from the get-go.
I was at the Japan show that had 4 divisions amateurs. And then they were picking the pro cards. They gave 3 out of those 4 a pro card. So there was a bantamweight to get pro card. Okay.
Mm.
And then there is something advertised 87 pro cards are going to be given in whatever shows. And
USA's now the USA's got
I mean, listen,
like almost it's like almost everybody that signs up going to.
hundreds and hundreds per year. Decade later, it's the thousands. So if 1,000 guys decide to enter the show, can you tell them, oh, you can't enter, you have a pro card?
No, you can enter, but only the winner is
No.
qualified. But
But-
maybe they should.
A
Maybe.
thousand guys in the shows, and then I mean, it's
But
probability.
that's never going to happen, Milos.
And
You know,
that's how everybody says. It's surprising that more pro cards, less competitors, which
well,
shocks me.
How about instead of the press
and now you know
conference,
why? Because of the coaches telling them not to do the show.
Yeah, maybe.
So as long as we have coaches, we don't have to worry about having too many competitors. 'Cause when
instead of the
everybody was
press
doing their own
conference,
shit,
have a elimination round on Thursday? All the guys.
but you still got to bring him in.
Well, no, they fly themselves. You want to compete? You want a chance to compete in the Olympia? Get your ass out here.
That would be a solution. Everybody brings themselves, and the top 10 get their reimbursement.
Exactly.
Or this would be my thing. Any of this top tier, second tier, third tier. Third tier shows are those, we call them usually the $10,000 shows.
Yeah.
You have to win at least 2 to qualify. Like Rubiel, he just won 2 shows, he qualified for this year.
Yeah.
If you win 1, you're not qualified.
Sasan win too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. You have to win 2 in all categories. So there will be, instead of 60 competitors in men physique, there might be only 30.
That's a great idea.
I mean, it's
But-
more. It's we have the shows. It's not like we don't have enough shows. We have the shows. So let these competitors compete. That's what
Yeah.
I would do. I'm not saying this
Okay.
would be the solution. Not that's the one that comes to my mind. Just make him win 2 shows to qualify. Make him compete.
That's a good idea.
Jose, do you have anything like in your head, because you're purist and you're passionate and you're honest and you don't hold back? Is there anything that you think you would change if you are in federation or involved as a promoter? Anything else that you catch like, oh shit, I wish I can change this one?
Some of the things we just talked about, there's got to be ways to actually pay the athletes. You call yourself a professional, and yet you've never made a dime from the sport.
Look at
That's a hard pill to swallow.
Look at the Masters.
Yeah,
When you do as a pro, when you do a pro master show, you have to pay entry fee.
you got to pay $500 or something to win 3,000.
And that entry fee will go towards the prize money.
Right. Yeah. I don't get that, because that particular promoter that's doing that, one of them in Pittsburgh, he's got thousands of competitors that weekend at $350 a whack. I don't think
that's an amateur show. We're not talking about an amateur show.
he puts it on along in conjunction with it. So that weekend, I'm sure he could afford to pay out 20 grand to all the masters divisions without taking their money first.
Yeah.
Sounds a little greedy to me.
I think Masters Pro shows are there for what?
For the masters, for
Yeah.
the 40 and 50-year-olds that still got the hunger and desire to be competitive. And some of them are damn good.
Yeah, some of them are damn good. But if you put on a Masters show, do you think you sell any tickets?
Yeah, to the loved ones and friends of those competitors.
All right. So if one brings 3 athletes, that means you have 30 competitors at 30 tickets.
Yeah,
That's not paying for the venue. That's not paying for the sanction fee. That's not paying for anything.
I've been to a few of them, and they're pretty good. Linda Murray's show
We're probably
in
in
Atlanta.
conjunction with something else, and that's mostly the way they do it. They put it in
Yes.
conjunction with a pro and amateur event, so that everything else is already
Yeah.
covered, and give those guys a chance to compete, which I like.
I like
You know,
that too.
I just don't like the fact that as a pro you have to pay entry fee. That I don't like.
Yeah, I
You know,
disagree with that
that
100%.
for me,
Yeah.
it's an amateur. An amateur pays entry fee. I think in pros should not pay entry fee. And that's just my opinion. But like I said, I don't know how many pro shows are there for the Masters. I'm not talking about the Masters Olympia now.
Next show is the Masters, right? Next show is in Chicago is Masters, and then 5 weeks from now,
Tampa,
Olympia.
Tampa has Masters. Atlanta has Masters.
Mm.
Chicago usually has Masters.
Uh,
Um, Toronto has Masters. Most of the pro shows have them. New
I'm
York
surprised
doesn't.
that Justin didn't make it because he was supposed to come on, and I don't know what happened because he didn't message me. So I guess he forgot about it.
Justin
Maybe
who?
Justin Shire.
Oh, he was going to come on today?
Yeah, he was supposed to be on.
Oh, he's great.
I know, and he wanted that. He said he can't wait for Milos to let me have it. I said, "Oh, we'll keep it on the leash, don't worry." He said, "No, I love Milos." He said, "Milos keeps it real," and
Yeah.
because he's competing, he's 4 weeks out
He looks good too.
doing Tampa and Texas.
I love his shape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
good.
too bad he didn't make it for whatever reason because I was waiting for him to message me and saying, "Hey, I can't log on or whatever," but no message.
Maybe he was smoking his own supply there and forgot.
But
He owns a distribution place. What do you
Oh,
what
a
do you call them?
dispensary?
Yeah, dispensary.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah, maybe he tested the new product.
Yeah, he
Hey.
forgot.
I didn't know what dispensary means, so I'm picking up Logan once he was coming to stay with me, Logan Franklin at the airport. So he goes like, "Hey, can we go to dispensary?" It's like, "Whoa, is it your favorite restaurant?" It's like, no, he said dispensary. Like, okay, what does that mean? So anyway, that always brings me to
They're
that.
all over Vegas.
Yeah, they're all over
You
there.
go
Yeah.
past them every day.
But
Yeah.
okay, there's more Masters shows. I thought it was just like Chicago and then Masters Olympia. I didn't know there were like so many. You
I know
mentioned
they're everywhere.
really
Yeah,
Yeah.
pro
they have them. They have them. Yeah, they have a lot of master shows now,
pro Master shows.
and
Hey,
not all of them you have to pay. It's not all of them. I think there's only some of them where you have to pay entry fee. This is not all of them.
Right.
how about that
But
ABB
there's a
Pro
lot of them that
Natural?
don't give prize money. There's some of them that don't give prize money. You just win basically a medal. I
How about
think. I
ABB
haven't
Pro
done a master
Natural?
pro yet. Huh?
ABB Pro Natural show that is coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, ABB Pro Natural. That's on the list. I just checked last night.
Yeah. But we have also national amateurs natural events too. And then if you turn pro,
ABB Pro Natural.
yes, man, we
That's a
have
thing.
natural shows, and don't be surprised if there's going to be maybe a natural Olympia.
I was at the Universe this weekend in New Jersey.
Look at Milos's face.
There's some good natural
Almost
athletes.
natural or natural?
No, natural, yeah.
Not almost. Okay.
I'm thinking about doing natural events in Germany too.
Yeah, it's growing.
Milos, you laughing, but you'd be surprised how many competitors will show up.
How many liars?
There's
How many
some-
liars are going to come in?
listen. You'd
There's
be
always
surprised.
one.
There's one federation that I don't even know what the name is. They got 500 competitors.
Yeah, because maybe a liar detector test that he's not going to even be. Are you using anything? Nope. Me?
No, when you look at that, when you look at the competitors, you can see. Sometimes you're like, yeah, that's a little suspicious. But when you look, most of them you see, you said, yeah, I believe they're natural.
Yeah.
When you look the same all year and you don't fluctuate, you're natural.
And they're thin and peeled.
Yeah, you're natural. But yeah, this is very popular now, man. It's getting more popular, and it's introduced in the NPC worldwide now. Natural, see a lot of natural events. Milos doesn't like that. Milos doesn't like natural events. So you
I
do it
love
right,
it.
or you don't do it at all.
No, natural is a natural because of the fear of not knowing and thinking that this is it. Natural, natural, natural. Okay, if you're natural, walk. Don't drive the car. You want to be a natural? Stay with the nature. Fucking walk.
Yeah. I think it's a good stepping stone where you can learn
Yeah.
your body, you learn how to train, you learn how to eat, you learn how to pose. And then once you have all those factors down, you can start tinkering with adding the supplements.
Exactly.
And your body will explode because you already mastered everything else.
I would say like
Mm.
7 years, about 7 years
Cool.
now.
You were natural the first 7 years?
I was, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
But you started really early though, right?
17, I started
No,
81.
I mean training.
Yeah, I mean, through the other things, I had in the judo, the little bit weightlifting, but not really bodybuilding. But I think 7 years, you reach about your natural
Yeah,
limitation.
but if you look at today, how many guys start bodybuilding and they're going to stay natural for 7 years? Most of these people
It started with the first workout.
they start before they get to the gym, their first shot.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So,
That's
how
good.
long were you drug free, Jose?
16 years.
Yeah. I forgot he was one of those.
Yeah, my goal was to be like the best natural bodybuilder in the world. And then I went to the World Championships and saw Dennis Wolf, and I'm like, he's not natural. What the hell's going on? And I turned pro in '07. I did the New York Pro Natural, and I was like 184. I got smoked by everyone, David Henry, Eduardo, Kevin English, all those guys. And I'm like, all right, if I'm going to play, I'm playing by the rules. That's when I started right away. I put on like 18 pounds of stage weight in 3 months, and I qualified for the Olympia. Went and did my first Olympia that year.
Yeah, yeah.
But as I said, I had already mastered everything from nutrition to training to cardio, contest prep. I'd competed dozens and dozens of times by then.
Speaking
And
of that, if you
that's all
did
I
it
needed.
5 years earlier, for example, because you already had 11 years of drug free. So have you done 5 years earlier? How would your career go?
I don't know. I often think of that. I probably would have done open shows because they didn't have 202 at that time, 212,
Yeah,
that was part of why I didn't do it, because at the time when I was really starting to get really good, Jay and Ronnie, you guys were, I'm like, they all had 100 pounds on me. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, what am I going to do? I can't compete against those guys. So I just never was inspired. I didn't really want to be a pro. Had no ambition for that. I just wanted to be the best natural in the world. And
yeah.
then once I realized that that was bullshit, like the world championships isn't drug tested. And if it is, very few people are drug tested because I've been there, I've competed, I've seen it. This
If they would
guy's a
have
freak.
tested that show, Dennis would have not won the world championship.
No, he was over 250 pounds peeled. He looked incredible.
Yeah, he was definitely loaded.
Yeah, everyone was. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I made the right decision, to be honest, because I had a good 10-year career as
Yeah,
a pro. And I got in and got out with my health and did it for a very short time, and it was great.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I was I was here during a time when guys like me probably never would have had the success that I did because of the 212. I had sponsors up the ass between, nutrition companies and clothing companies and magazine contracts. And I got to experience all that, traveling the world, getting flown to places just to compete or guest pose. Like that doesn't exist today. None of
yeah,
those contracts exist anymore. Magazines, very few people have supplement contracts.
yeah.
It's a very different world.
Real quick before we go, anybody seen Martin Fitzwater's guest posing in where was it?
I've seen it this morning a little bit. Yeah.
Where
He
did he
looked
guest
great.
pose? Somewhere overseas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, he looked really good. Looked
Yeah,
really good.
He
he's in
always looked good.
shape. He's huge.
Yeah, he looked good.
You seen the Brett
Oh,
Wilkin new pose, front lat spread pose? Brett
no, I
Wilkin.
didn't see it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there will be also another guest that I would like to bring on in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So I'm gonna go reach back out to Justin for hopefully next week, and then maybe Brett the week after. We get to talk to him.
Yeah, Brett's great.
Yeah.
That is,
All right, guys. I'm about to go to bed.
All
I
right,
don't know
Yeah,
you
go
two,
ahead.
but I'm going
get
to
some
bed.
sleep.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna mow my lawn.
All right, you guys be safe. We'll
All right.
talk.
Good to
Peace
see you
out.
today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.